how to let go and trust the universe. That's what we're going to dive into today. We're going to dive into this from various different perspectives. So stay with me till the end. Welcome back to Raw Radically Aligned Women. I'm SJR. I've been coaching women for 30 years, empowering them to attain full personal and financial freedom. We're going to dive right into it. Number one, we need to learn to release attachment. And what is attachment? Attachment is the belief that we need something. We need a situation to be a certain way. We need a certain person. We need a certain result. Or we need to avoid a certain situation, person, or result. In other words, if X happens, we'll feel great. But if Y happens, we'll feel bad. It's that belief. So basically, what attachment is externalizing our power. It's giving the power of how we feel, our internal state, to an external. So how do we release that? We need to understand what we believe that will give us. Why are we attached to that outcome? Why are we attached to our ex coming back? What will we feel if they come back? Will we feel valuable? Will we feel validated? Will we feel worthy? Whatever it is that we're looking for from that external manifestation, we need to give to ourselves now. So yes, it takes a lot of work. It takes reprogramming and work to get behind ourselves, and in the moments of our day, to value ourselves, to validate ourselves, to see our lovability, to focus on our innocence, on our strengths. We need to do that now. Then whether it happens or doesn't happen doesn't have the power to determine how we feel. That's empowerment. We need to take the time to truly get to know ourselves, and this is going to come up again later. What are our values? What are our beliefs? What do we believe about ourselves, about the world, about life? What do we believe? And whose beliefs are they? Are they our beliefs, or did we learn them when we were little? You know, the first 7 years programs our subconscious. So we need to know what we believe, not what we learned, not what we were programmed. And what do we value? For me, some of my greatest values are love, service, contribution, freedom, and a sense of abundance. What are your values? You need to know your beliefs, your values, and then you need your words, your feelings, your emotions, and your actions to be congruent with those values. Okay? So we need to release attachment by going internally and giving ourselves that. We need to be congruent by knowing our beliefs and our values. And then we need to trust ourselves. How can we trust anyone or anything else if we don't trust ourselves? If I don't trust myself to know if I can trust you, how can I trust? I don't trust myself to know. So it's, again, it always starts with us. Again, it starts with us. And we are going to unpack this a little bit. So I'm a little bit of a word nerd, which means I go to the dictionary a lot, instead of assuming I know the meaning of a word. So the word trust means is reliable. You depend on the strength of that. You depend on the goodwill of that. You trust it. Here's the thing. We tend to worship at the altar of oversimplification in terms of human beings. So we think of ourselves, we box ourselves into labels, and I'm like this. The problem with that is we don't have one self. They're different parts of us. Have you ever gone on a diet and you were determined you were going to eat clean, and the next thing you knew, you were eating chocolate? That's not because you decided you didn't care. It's not because you just lack discipline. It's because we have many different aspects of self, different parts of ourself. So one part of ourself may be committed and determined, and another part of ourself may have the experience of having gone on many diets before and always ended up feeling like a failure, like she couldn't do it. So to avoid the pain of feeling like a failure, she eats the chocolate. Make sense? I want you to understand something. All our behaviors were either learned when we were young, or they were the solution to pain or a problem that we couldn't deal with. So we came up with that behavior in order to protect ourselves. The different parts of us behave the ways they do because they believe they're protecting us. That doesn't mean they're right, but we do need to understand that so that we can have compassion instead of hating and beating ourselves up and blaming and name calling and doing all the stuff that we do. You've got to get to know the different parts of yourself, which requires radical honesty. Instead of being simple and just categorizing, we need the nuances. We need to get to know different parts of ourselves. We push away parts of ourselves we don't like. We need to bring them into the fold and get to know them. If there's a part of me that wants to do this video for you, and there's a young part of me who had a bad experience in front of a camera, she doesn't want to do it. If I know her and can soothe her, comfort her, let her know she's not the one that needs to show up on video. I'm an adult now. The adult is going to show up. Make sense? Then we've got to know, see, the education system is broken. So we learn to work on our weaknesses and, whatever variation of be humble, don't be the tallest poppy, whatever that is, we tend to devalue our gifts and our strengths. Because when we are good at something, it's easy. And this culture values hard work and struggle and effort. So if it's easy, it can't be valuable. It's not that good. That's crazy. What comes easy to us, what's natural to us, is part of our gifts, of our genius. We need to own our gifts and our genius. Each of us have them. And we need to focus on them. We need to celebrate those things. We need to applaud ourselves. Have you ever seen an artist in flow? It's beautiful. But when we do something and we're in flow and it's easy, we devalue it. That was easy, it didn't. Stop doing that. And the last part of trusting ourselves is embracing and listening to our emotions. There's an epidemic of doing whatever we can, taking Xanax, taking antidepressants, not feeling what we feel, changing how we feel. You know, in the pandemic, alcohol intake skyrocketed to change how we feel. Stop doing that too. Our emotions have messages for us. They carry information, and we need to hear what they're saying to us. We need to embrace them, feel them. You've heard it before. Emotions are energy in motion. They need to move through us. We can't trust ourselves if we devalue ourselves. We can't trust ourselves if we don't listen to ourselves. We can't trust ourselves if we beat up on ourselves and reject parts of ourselves. When we do that, we're able to trust the universe. We're able to let go because we know, even if, and here's one more tip, let yourself follow your intuition. Take risks. That's how you find out what you can trust and what is off. Sometimes it's ego, sometimes it's intuition. But you've got to be allowed to experiment and explore to find out. So letting go of this idea of mistakes. There are no mistakes. The only mistake is if you experience something and instead of unpacking it and learning from it, you keep repeating it. Then that's a mistake. I hope this was of value to you. It's dense, so maybe watch it again, come back. Releasing attachment, finding congruence, getting to know ourselves, radical honesty, and those steps to trust ourselves. If you got value from this, any value at all, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because I am devoted to you as a conscious woman attaining full personal and financial freedom in 2022, because wealthy women are going to change the world. I love you. Namaste.